If you're ready to trade your clunker in for a new ride, but you're dreading the idea of dealing with an aggressive or condescending salesperson, there are ways to avoid the headache and actually turn your car buying experience into a pleasant one. It's really true. Personal finance specialist Skip Cowan joins us with a few smooth moves. Mr. Smooth himself.
Yeah,
Smooth Skip.
absolutely.
That's what I call you, Smooth Skip.
Do you really?
Yes, you didn't know this?
No.
Well, I'm so glad you're talking about this because I know a lot of people, I was talking to my producer about it this weekend, maybe in the market for a new car.
Oh, yeah.
But we always dread that experience. And I have to say the internet has actually made the car buying experience at least a little easier. So how can we get ahead of the game?
Well, the internet is exactly where you need to start.
Really?
And you need to do a lot of research. There are two sites that I always use, Edmunds.com and NADA.com. Both of those.
N-A-D-A?
NADA.
Okay.
Both of those sites will give you the information that will arm you with enough information so that when you walk into the dealership, you know what you're talking about.
You're in the know.
You're in the know. But then there are a couple things that you can do that kind of drive the salesman a little nuts. And I got to tell you, I like doing that. I can't help it, but there's some part of me that likes doing that.
Okay.
For you salespeople out there that I know, don't hate me for this.
Well, my dad used to be in the car business, and he gave me some tips because he was one of them.
Right.
So, but you really do have to sort of trick. So, one of the things is I guess we want to cut right to the chase, right?
Sure.
So how do we do that?
Well, first thing you do is, as I've said, get all the information, right? Get a price from that salesperson. Get them to quote a price. And then whip out your cell phone and dial in to NADA.com or Edmunds.com and say, well, the negotiation's over at that point, right? Second thing you can do
is
ask for the sales manager.
Yeah, go right to the manager,
Go right to the manager because we always hear, well, I don't know, I'm going to have to take this to my sales manager. This may go one way or the other. I'm not sure.
Always.
Who is this sales manager? You never see them.
Right,
They're behind the curtain.
It's like it's the great Oz.
It's the great Oz, that's right. So say, I want to see Oz.
Yeah.
and see how that goes.
That's a good point. So we have done our research. We come in, we try to cut right to the chase. But how do we know that we're not being taken for a ride once we get to that finance office?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you.
That's the worst part for me.
That's where it happens. Because, and it's a big profit center for car dealerships.
Yeah.
And God bless them. I have no problem with that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with making a profit. But as a consumer, you need to be a little bit smarter than that.
Right.
One of the big things that car dealers sell, and I believe in a lot, is called gap insurance.
What does that mean?
Gap insurance covers the gap between what you owe on the car and the actual value of the car. You've heard the old axiom that you buy a new car and you drive it off the dealership and it drops 20%.
Yeah.
There's some truth in that.
Sure.
So if you've got a heavy loan, let's say a 6-year loan, a 7-year loan even, you're upside down in the deal immediately, and you're going to be upside down for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if a guy like me is driving along, T-bones you, and totals your car?
Then what?
Well, if you don't have gap insurance, you're going to be out that 20% right now.
Good point.
Okay?
Good point.
So, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point to buy it.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you want to buy it from the dealership? Answer, no.
Oh, you can get it elsewhere.
Buy it on your own. Call your insurance company before you go in and make sure they will sell you the gap insurance. If they won't, find an insurance company that will.
Good
Because
advice.
you'll pay 2 or 3 times more than that value is actually worth.
Well, yeah, and they try to get you all the warranties. They try to do all the throw-ins. You need this, you need that. You don't really, and there are ways you can go around that. So you're basically saying you can go to other dealers for different little things that they offer in that one bundle.
Dealers or off-site, yeah. Even the warranty itself, those kind of things, I never buy those.
Right, okay,
You just
me
say,
neither. I didn't
just
either.
say the word no and keep it in mind, right?
Okay.
And one last thing.
Is?
One thing you can do is never walk into a dealership other than to sign the deal. Do your research, make phone calls.
Okay.
Say, give me your best price.
Okay.
You're going to get the best price.
Well, and I think if you walk into one dealership, you say, I was at the other Jeep dealership and they told me I could get my car for this. Does that ever work? No.
A lot of
It's so
people
girly of me,
A lot
right?
of people play that game. Just pick up the phone, call.
Okay.
If you like the deal, say, I'll be in 3:30. Sign the deal. I don't want to go to the finance office other than to sign this deal.
Okay.
Don't talk to me about undercarriage insurance. Don't talk to me about
Gap insurance.
Don't talk to me about anything. I just want to buy the car.
You know what you want. Go in
Right.
there with knowledge. And
Be a smart consumer.
Well, and you can give so many good tips in any area of finance. There's actually going to be a financial summit coming up on April 1st where we can learn more about this as well as many other financial issues. Skip, tell us real quick about the details.
This is a great deal, Nikki.
Okay.
Several workshops. It's free.
Nice, good start.
And lunch is served, also breakfast is served, and you're going to learn a lot about personal finance.
Good.
This is something you got to do, guys.
Yeah.
And it's an annual event. All you have to do is register.
Perfect.
That information was on the screen, so go for it.
Great, and we'll have more on Casa.com. Thanks as always, Smooth Skip. Good to have you.
Good to have you. Good to see you.
And still ahead in our second half hour of New Mexico Style, we'll have a peek inside New Mexico Magazine's Home and Garden issue. Plus, we salute another Golden Apple winner. You don't want to miss it.